The first 2 episodes of Wandavision are out, and a lot of people were left thinking, what the heck is going on? We will examine the clues from the first 2 episodes, clues from upcoming MCU projects, potential clues from the comics, and rumors to go into a few theories about this show. So, potential spoilers ahead. This is Exasperated Nerd Explains. I think it is clear Wanda is in some sort of bubble where this reality is unfolding. What is not clear is whether this is something she did on purpose, her powers are accidentally out of control, or there is an outside actor manipulating her. I think her doing this on purpose is the least likely scenario, based solely on her role within the MCU so far. It certainly has precedence in the comics, with her having breakdowns, killing her husband Vision for instance, or wiping out most of the world's mutants, but I don't think they would give her that role in the MCU. We know she is going to be in the Doctor Strange sequel, and I don't believe they would turn her into a villain here. I think it is possible that her powers have gone out of control. In the movies, her powers have been limited to telekinesis and telepathy, where in the comics her abilities are tied to actual magic. In Age of Ultron, Wanda used telepathy to make the Avengers see visions, so this sort of mass hallucination could just be a juiced up version of that ability. However, I think something more is going on. Just telepathy would not explain everything. I think her powers have increased or changed as a result of the battle with Thanos. After all, it was experimentation on her with the Mind Stone that initially gave her powers. So being exposed to other Infinity Stone energies from Infinity War and in-game fights may have had an effect on her powers. After all, the Reality Stone in the movies is red when it is yellow in the comics, and she has always had a red motif and reality warping powers in the comics. This power-up would explain why she ends up with Doctor Strange after this. It could be so he can help her learn to control and refine her abilities, exploring their ties to magic. I think her powers went out of control by her trying to either resurrect Vision or get back his body from Sword. In the comics, Sword defends the planet from otherworldly threats. In the MCU, it has been revealed via merchandising that SWORD stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division. They may have been formed out of the Sokovia Accords from Civil War, or may have just been put in place after a sentient weapon named Thanos temporarily wiped out half of existence, and they were formed to respond specifically to powered individuals. It would make sense that Vision's body would be collected by this group, because even inert, it is filled with impressive technology and materials. I know some people think the person observing the TV show at the end of the first episode is going to be a malevolent actor like Mephisto or AIM, but I think Wanda may have activated her powers at a Sword base, and that is how some of the workers in an underground part of the facility perceive it. After all, you can see the Sword logo in the corner, and why would they have a 1950s style TV monitor if they weren't at least partially affected by her powers? This may be the same worker who shows up in the Beekeeper outfit at the end of the second episode, which has a Sword logo on it. I think it is probably a hazmat suit, and the reality bubble reinterpreted it as a Beekeeper outfit to fit into the aesthetics of the world. This means the toy helicopter with the Sword logo on it was a real helicopter trying to get into the bubble that was just reinterpreted as a toy upon entry. I also think this helicopter brought in Wanda's new friend from the second episode, who was actually Monica Rambeau. In the comics, Monica Rambeau has had several superhero names, including Captain Marvel and Photon. She previously appeared in the Captain Marvel film as the daughter of Carol Danvers' friend. The voice over the radio asking, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" is Jimmy Woo, who previously appeared in Ant-Man and the Wasp. All of this points to the fact that SWORD is trying to break through the bubble to find out what is going on. Even if all this SWORD information is true, there may also be a malevolent outside actor. I think the best candidates are AIM, Agatha Harkness, Mephisto, or Nightmare. I think if there is an outside actor, it probably has something to do with Wanda and Vision's children. AIM has showed up briefly in Iron Man 3, but has been silent since. They are basically a group of mad scientists. A few points in favor of this theory: Their outfits look like beekeeper outfits, often being the butt of jokes about it. Sticking with the bee theme, the end of the first episode encircled Wanda and Vision in a honeycomb shape. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but we do know they are working on a MODOK animated series, which would tie into AIM. So bringing them back now as an evil organization that could bridge several MCU titles is not out of the question. As for motivation, it could just be experimentation for experimentation's sake, or they think children created in this warped reality could be used as weapons or further experiments. Most fans seem to think the neighbor Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness. The trailer for WandaVision shows her in a witch costume, which will be in a future Halloween episode, and her bunny rabbit used in the second episode has the same name as her son in the comics. In the comics, she is a magic user and mentor to Scarlet Witch, but may have her own motives if she is manipulating Wanda here. It is certainly possible that she is here as an ally and not an adversary. Two other villain options are Mephisto and Nightmare. Some fans are speculating that one of these two characters will be the next big bad for the MCU. Mephisto is basically the devil, or a devil, and there is a convoluted history with Wanda and Mephisto in the comics, and it has to do with her children. Wanda has twins with Vision, but at some point it is revealed that they were manifested as an aspect of Mephisto's power, and he reabsorbs them, wiping them from existence, causing some of the breakdowns that were previously mentioned. I feel like putting an actual devil character would be a little too on the nose, so I think they might avoid him here. Nightmare has been rumored to be the bad guy in the Doctor Strange sequel for a while, which would make sense as to why Wanda will be in the movie if they are dealing with the same foe. Nightmare is similar to Dormammu, the villain in the first Doctor Strange movie, in that he is a nigh omnipotent ruler of a different dimension, in this case, a dream dimension. He is able to draw energies from the subconscious mind, and he could have a similar motive as Mephisto's, hoping to create these children and use them to increase his own power. I personally think that it is most likely that her powers went out of control with her trying to resurrect Vision, but it was manipulated in some way by Nightmare. I think his influence would have to be subtle and only really revealed at the end of the series. But, what do you think about these theories? Which one sounds most likely to you? Please let me know in the comments, like the video if you found something interesting or learned something, and subscribe to this channel. I think the first two episodes were fun, and I am looking forward to the rest and to seeing how they deal with the subsequent eras of sitcom television. Thanks for watching. Bye.